Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. I'm going to try and talk about this lot of snake oil from the master snake oil salesman, Chris Anthony. I had to finish off my last video in a bit of a hurry because I wanted to do this.
Hi, early APTERA reservation holders. We're humbled by your support on our journey towards producing the world's first solar mobility solution. We recently sent out an email with a form for you to ask questions about the reservation process and our accelerator program, and boy, did you guys send us a lot of great questions. Audra has combed through over 600 questions and is going to ask me a few of them, and I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities, but hopefully this will give a lot of you insight into the reservation, delivery process, and our really cool accelerator program.
Just watch him stroke his hand the whole time. He's tried hard not to look left in this one, but there's always telltale signs that something's amiss.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. The first topic is about vehicle delivery timing. Surprise. The question first is from Barbara. She's in Hawaii, asking if she invests into the accelerator program, can you give her a delivery time frame window?
Hey, Barbara, awesome to have your support. And when you join the accelerator program, you're actually investing into a program that will get you one of the first 2,000 delivery slots for our vehicles.
Just listen for a time frame window. That's what she's asked for. At the moment, he's running off at the mouth.
And we hope to start delivering on those vehicles later in 2024. We assume we'll get production funding to be able to start buying the tooling and equipment for production early next year, even though we've already locked our production design down. And then it'll take us 6 to 9 months to really start production. So if, say, you invest in the accelerator program and you end up being order number 1512 on that, it will take us sometime into 2025 to deliver that vehicle to you.
There you go. Sometime into 2025 he finally gets down to. What would sometime into 2025 be? Would it be January or December?
Awesome. David from Colorado asked, following that question, how much advance notice will you get when your APTERA will be ready for pickup? What does the lead time look like so we can plan?
Yeah, thanks, David. I think around 3 months. That's kind of the ordering supply chain process to order all the parts to build your vehicle. So it will be slated for production. Your VIN number will be put into the system. All the parts will be there, and then we'll send you an email and say, hey, our manufacturing execution system says your vehicle will be delivered on June 16th. Please, arrange financing or give us a deposit, and we'll prepare your vehicle for delivery.
Great.
Did he really need all that?
A lot of reservation holders have either the 600-mile, 1,000-mile range on delivery, and we had a lot of questions about how much longer would one have to wait for the 600-mile version over the 400-mile version. That's from Arthur in California.
Arthur, great question. The first battery pack we're building is the 45 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's around 400 miles range. The easiest next battery pack to build is the 25 kilowatt or the 250 mile range version, because we just take cells out of the bigger battery pack and then it becomes a lower capacity pack. The bigger capacity packs, the 600 and the 1,000 mile range, we haven't actually even received the cells from Asia to test and validate for those packs yet. We hope to receive those cells early next year and start the design and validation phase for those packs. But we expect probably the first 5,000 vehicles that we build will be 400 mile range packs, so we won't start the 250 mile deliveries after that, and hopefully shortly after that we'll start delivery of the 600 and 1,000 mile range versions of the APTERA.
5,000 of the 400-mile range. If number 1512 was sometime in 2025, what would another 3,500 put it back? We must be looking at 2027 or 2028 by now. But he doesn't tell us anything. He just says shortly after we'll do this. This guy is expert at never giving anything near a date.
Great. The next question is, we're moving into pricing and affordability. Mike from South Carolina asked, the Volkswagen Beetle was a radical design and became one of the most popular vehicles in automotive history, with over 21 million made over 65 years of production, primarily because of its affordability. Volkswagen is now the largest car maker in the world. Is APTERA committed to the longevity of its radical design, and is APTERA committed to keeping its vehicle affordable like Volkswagen Beetle?
Thanks for the question, Arthur. Florida's a great place for APTERAs, lots of sunshine and plenty of wide open roads to drive the APTERA on. The average new electric vehicle these days is almost $60,000. So to be offering the 400 mile range APTERA for around $35,000, we think fits right into the marketplace very, very well.
Why compare the average EV when they are cars and what he's got is much less than a car? It's an auto cycle. You don't say the average EV is this amount and so your e-bike, which I mean an e-bicycle, is a cheap alternative, because you're not comparing apples with apples. So all this is nonsense.
And the lower range APTERA, coming in $26,000, $28,000, really fits into the modern kind of EV class vehicles. We think it will be affordable, not just from the purchase price, but also the average American spending $7,000 a year on gasoline. So to not have that fuel cost for a lot of people is really going to make the APTERA an exceptional purchase from a cost efficiency point of view and long-term savings, total cost of ownership point of view. So we hope that we can build millions of APTERA over the years, and as Sandy Monroe put it best, this is the next iconic vehicle like the VW Beetle, and I think we'll be right up there over time.
He also doesn't mention that the top of the line APTERA is about $50,000 now. I'd be surprised if it gets under $50,000. I'd be surprised if the launch edition gets under $40,000. But the biggest surprise for me is if it ever comes to fruition at all.
Thank you, Chris. And that was actually Mike from South Carolina, but hey.
Mike, where did I get Arthur from Florida?
Oh, he was the one before.
Oh,
no, that was great.
Thanks, Mike.
He was actually trying to think about his rehearsed lines and just dropped the ball with the name.
Sharon from Arizona is asking about financing. Will I need to find my own financing? If not, I have to pay in cash.
Thanks for the question, Sharon. We're hopefully going to line up internal financing so you can finance it through APTERA or probably through a partner bank. And you'll basically fill out a loan application with that bank. That's kind of a preferred provider from APTERA. They know the vehicle, they know kind of the residual costs and all those things to kind of assess the loan against. We also love to offer a subscription to the APTERA that gets you the vehicle, it gets you the insurance for the APTERA and all the power you can use. So basically, be able to give you a car so you can go to the supercharger, or you can go to the Blink or Charge Point or whatever chargers are out there if you're taking long trips with the APTERA to get free fuel. But we need to find a financing partner for that, and that may take some time. But for the initial vehicles, and if you join the accelerator program, we'll ask you for a deposit first, and then any credit union will give you a loan. Or a bank that will finance a motorcycle will give you a loan. Some banks that we've talked to, if they don't finance motorcycles at all, they may be harder to get a loan for an APTERA because they're like, we don't do motorcycles, and you're going to hand them a VIN number for a motorcycle, and they're going to say, we don't do motorcycles. So they expect that maybe if you have to get your own financing, but we will have an assured financial partner that can help you with financing along the way. And lots of people get loans on motorcycles all the time. Very expensive motorcycles too. So if you buy a fancy, expensive $100,000 motorcycle, you still go to a bank and get a loan just like anything else.
There aren't too many $100,000 motorcycles, but you can pay way less for a Suzuki Hayabusa and it will outperform your almost $50,000 APTERA, top of the line, quickest one, for way less than half the price. And you're actually getting a real motorcycle, not some weird contraption.
Okay, trike question. What is the difference between investing and the accelerator program?
Great question. You can invest anytime you'd like. Just go to aptera.us/invest. Whether you want to invest $200 or $1,000, we're humbled by the investments that have gotten us this far. Our crowdfunding being the most successful crowdfunding in the history of this type is just amazing, and it's amazing what we've been able to do with those investments. But if you invest more than $10,000, if you go to aptera.us/accelerate, then you are in for the first 2,000 delivery slots for the APTERA. So more than $10,000 investment gets you put on the list for the first 2,000 delivery slots. And the more you invest, the higher you'll be on that list. So you'll receive your vehicle earlier. So if you invest $500,000 through that platform, then you'll be very high on that list, and you'll get your vehicle very early in our delivery process. And if you can contribute $10,000 to the cause, investing in the equity of APTERA as we grow, then you'll be ranked according to when you invest. So there's less than 500 slots left. So invest soon, invest if you can.
And you also get a 5% discount?
If you invest $10,000, you also get a 5% discount on your vehicle purchase price. So obviously over time, the vehicle may change in configuration, so we don't want to put a dollar amount on it, but if you get the 1,000-mile range APTERA, you would still get that 5% discount on the APTERA if you invest more than $10,000.
Great. Andre from Canada, hi Andre, asked, can I fund the accelerator and decline one of the first 2,000 units?
Yes, if you want to wait, or your timing is not good, or you want to, a custom wrap that we aren't making available in the launch edition vehicles, or you want the longer range, you can invest in the accelerator program, please do, and you can hold your spot too whenever you still get the 5% discount on the vehicle, but you just tell us when you want to receive it, and we'll put you in line to receive the vehicle. So you may want, the all-wheel drive 1,000-mile range version, or the black version noir. If you want to wait for some of those features or things to come out, then we're happy to put you in line whenever you would like to be in line to receive your vehicle. If you're an accelerator, we still got all the cool accelerator stuff, so we'll still send you the book, we'll still send you whatever else we're including in the accelerator program. So you still got all the accelerator perks. You can just get your vehicle delivered whenever you would like it.
Awesome. We have a lot of questions from Canada, Australia, and European reservation holders. Bohan from the Netherlands said there are about 33 early accelerators from Europe. Will APTERA facilitate in transporting the APTERA to Europe and to get the admission to be able to drive them on the road?
Homologation is a difficult thing in some countries. Some countries it's relatively easy. Some countries have exceptions for the first 100 vehicles of this type, the first 500 vehicles of this type. But every kind of country has a different set of rules. So we haven't started homologation for the EU yet, but we will as we get closer to production. And hopefully by the time we start steady production and have vehicles really moving off the assembly line, we've already gotten whatever certifications we need to have vehicles shipped to those places. But in the beginning, if you have accelerator spot number 1 or 10, you may have to get it into a place that where it isn't fully homologated, and you may have to bring it in as a kit car disassembled or something like that. We don't really know what the nuances of that would be to get it into a country. But trust me, people have been importing strange vehicles to off countries for a long time, and there's always a way. Though unfortunately sometimes it comes with a bit of cost, but we will go out of our way to help you get your vehicle to whatever country you're in, because the more APTERA are on the road, the more people are going to get excited about solar mobility, and the more people are going to put reservations and investments and support our goals for making the world a cleaner place through solar mobility.
All right.
He could have just said no.
A lot of people are excited about getting the vehicles, and they want to know if they'll have the opportunity to test drive it before Amy from California commits to purchasing.
Yes, obviously, if we give you a delivery date and ask you for a deposit or to get financing lined up, you can cancel that order anytime before you receive the vehicle, and we can schedule you for a test drive here, or if we have test drives remote because we're kind of doing a tour of APTERA, you can take a test drive wherever you like. We can also, if you have an early reservation slot, or if you have an accelerator slot, we could save that for a while if it took you some time to get to a test drive location or to get here for a test drive. We say, hey, we're going to deliver your vehicle on June 19th. You're like, well, I can't come for a test drive until August. Okay, well, we'll hold your slot, and you let us know when you can come for a test drive, and we'll say your vehicle's going to get delivered in September instead, so you can have a chance to test drive it before you actually purchase it. But it's a pretty flexible program. We just need to know what works for you.
Well, what's working for them so far is that nobody test drives them. Not one single customer test drives them. There's been some YouTube influencers who have test ridden being driven by Chris McAdam or some other employee, but the only test drives that have happened so far are not from customers, but from influencers, video or movie or TV people. Try and name one person that isn't an influencer of some sort that has test driven an APTERA. They don't exist. So he's going to have to make a change there.
Next question is Peter from California asked, what are the specs of the first 2,000 vehicles?
Thanks for the question, Peter. It's a great question. The first 2,000 vehicles are launch edition vehicles by spec, except they come with some extra accelerator perks. The first 2,000 are going to be pretty special vehicles. They're not only going to be valuable, they're also historical, and they also come with some cool serialization. So you get custom serialization on the logo, and I think in the door seal too. You get a lot of kind of accelerator memorabilia along with that package, but we also throw in some perks with the accelerator program too. So the enhanced audio, it is the all-wheel drive version, 400-mile range version of the vehicle with full solar. But am I forgetting any other stuff, Audra?
Well, Len asked what features and options can accelerators get, so such as like, will open pilot be available? Can I buy the pet and camping kit?
Oh, thanks, Len. You can add any of those options to the vehicle, in your configurator. They may just not not be available at the time we ship your vehicle. So like OpenPilot, we hope to have it available really early on. The pet kit, we think we'll have available right when the vehicle launches. The tent, the camping kit available right when the vehicle launches. But the off-road kit may take some time because there's some tooling involved with that to give you the off-road option. So it may take a while to start shipping the camping kit. But add the feature, and obviously we won't charge you for the feature until we can actually ship it to you. So just add the feature to let us know you want it, and then we'll deliver your vehicle. And any features that aren't available, then we'll ship them to you when they are.
Thank you. Everybody's asking, what size are the tires on APTERA?
That's a great question, Audra. Did you ask engineering what the size of the tires are?
I did.
Well, you should tell them.
They're 16-inch
rims. And they're standard 155
PSI? Wait.
155
Sorry,
millimeters.
PSI, pounds per square inch. How much air you put in them? You buy tyres based on that?
Sidewalls. What's the actual tire spec?
I don't have it written down.
Oh, it's a standard tire. It's a lot like a Prius tire. It's on a 16-inch rim. You can go to Discount Tire or any other Tire America or whatever your tire shop is, and if you need an emergency tire, obviously we'll have a special formulation with our fancy hand-cooked tires, and they will be super eco, and hopefully they'll last you a long, long time, and you can keep those tires on your vehicle whenever possible. But if you need a tire in a pinch, there's lots of places to get the standard APTERA tire.
Okay, thank you. And then a question about battery upgrades. So if I were to purchase the launch edition vehicle as part of the accelerator program, get the 400-mile range, and then a couple years down the line, you're producing a new battery pack that maybe goes 600-700 miles. Do you think there's a possibility I could upgrade my full pack with that one in my launch edition vehicle?
We don't think you would want to upgrade your pack in the launch edition vehicle. You just want to get a new APTERA. The packs are pretty integral to the vehicle, and you can replace them, and you can technically upgrade them. But the heavier packs will have different suspension attributes, so you have to change more than just the battery pack to get the same kind of performance out of the vehicle. Possibly different braking configurations too. So there is a bit more to it than just slotting in a new battery pack.
Not if the higher range, newer battery is actually the same weight or less.
It's not as plug and play as your AA batteries, but these first accelerator vehicles will be very, very valuable. So I would think that they're going to hold their value. Think back to the early Teslas. I mean, they're still selling Tesla Roadsters for $200,000 and $300,000. So imagine the first 2,000 APTERA being serialized and very special. We think they'll hold their value quite well. So wait until we have a 600,000 mile range version, and then you can trade up.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about testing. Casper from Texas asked, what date do you expect to start crash testing of the production intent vehicles?
Thanks for the question, Casper. Obviously, testing the crashworthiness and that stuff is the top of mind. Unfortunately, we have a lot of other work to do before we really start that, and suspension calibration, brake calibration, ABS, that sort of stuff. It's got to kind of go through that before it starts to hit walls.
Suspension, wasn't that done by Roush with the first beta about 2 years back? Why are they still fiddling with it?
That will take us a little while. Hopefully, we'll start to receive our first production intent builds early next year, and then we'll start to get with the suspension suppliers and the ABS suppliers and braking suppliers, and then airbag suppliers to actually run them into walls. But I would think it would be mid next year before we start to see some crash data. But we'll share that with the world, and obviously, we want to show that APTERA is not just a safe vehicle, one of the safest vehicles you can buy. So we'll want to show people this crash test and how the vehicle works.
Okay. Lots of questions about cold weather testing too. Mike from Michigan asked, will you be doing a performance video to showcase the APTERA's winter capabilities?
We absolutely will when it turns winter. When it turns winter. So.
Yeah, they had the Gamma in Switzerland in the snow for nearly 6 months, and they didn't do a single test. They've had 3 winters come and go, and they've never tested their prototypes, even though they've had 3 alphas to do it with. This guy just makes promises and actually insults our intelligence by saying, we'll do it when winter comes around. After 3 winters have come around, and they've had the vehicles to test with.
Everything we design for, is for snow and ice. We're designing it in Italy. Lots of supercars have to be, snow and ice worthy too, because they're driven around Europe. So we think the APTERA will perform exceptionally well, but we probably won't have a lot to show for it until later next year.
Thank you. The next topic on top of everybody's minds, probably one of the most asked, is about service and maintenance. So Reginald from Maryland said, maintenance, what will it look like? And when will the service manual be available? But you can also touch on routine maintenance and the network of service technicians we're building.
Yeah, we hope with our drivetrain and, the way regenerative braking works, the service intervals for the APTERA will be sparse, hopefully up to.
How does he know the way regenerative braking works? Nikki from Transport Evolved was the last person to test drive the Gamma, and she said there was no regenerative braking on it. I don't think any of the alphas or even the beta have regenerative braking on it. So where does he get this idea about the way regenerative braking works? He's got nothing to go on.
1 million miles on most of the serviceable items of the vehicle. So in general, you'll be changing the washer fluid, the windshield wiper blades when they start to wear out, and your tires. Those are the real maintenance items for the vehicle. In the beginning, in populous areas, Southern California, we'll have mobile service vans that can help APTERA owners with their service needs. We're looking for nationwide partners and possibly European partners too for service that can do kind of mobile service. It seems to be a growing trend where a lot of companies are doing that, and we're actively talking to 2 of them now. We think more conversations will get going as we get closer to production. The service manual is something that we'll probably wait until we're deep into launching manufacturing. We'll learn a lot by putting together the first vehicles. Some of that information will go into the service manuals. So we don't think it's really worthwhile developing the service manuals until we start to build the first production intent vehicles and probably actually start production. So those service manuals are probably sometime later next year. But happy to share them with people who have reservations or accelerator investors.
Thank you. Okay, last question. It's from Archibald in Florida. He asked, when will APTERA go public?
Great question, Archibald. All of you great accelerator investors and APTERA investors alike would love to see the day when APTERA goes public and we're finally publicly tradable and everybody's excited in New York about solar mobility and are just eating up our stock. But it may take some time. We would love to kind of orchestrate an IPO that ties to the start of production for a lot of reasons. We think it'll be a very exciting growing company. And when we start to deliver our first vehicles, that's when people go, wow, solar mobility is happening. I really want to hop on this train to make the world a better place. But you got to line up the lawyers, you got to line up the accountants, you got to do.
I recall when I first saw them a bit over 2 years ago, he was saying they were going IPO within 12 months. Now he's saying he's putting it off for a long time.
A lot of things to make all that happen. Luckily, I've been involved with several IPO processes, and we've got a great team here. Recently took my lithium battery company public a few years ago, so we know the process, and we're talking to the right people. And I've had some great trips to New York over the last few months to talk about just those topics. But if I was to project, I would hope that we would tie an IPO kind of towards the start of production. No guarantees on that. We're working hard to make all of this happen, and an IPO strategy and the funding strategy is part of that.
There's no guarantee on anything.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, Chris.
Thanks, everyone.